Hey, curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.
Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. We're very excited to be here. Joe's not here this week, but Anthony is here to fill in.
Anthony, nice to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. And I did not submit a question, so we're not. Last time,
He submitted his own.
Right.
I submitted a question last time it was answered, but this time, I promise, none of my questions are in there.
I
It's all
can't
from
see
you.
Anthony because the bag of new questions
Yes,
is in there.
right
We're supposed
there,
to-
yeah.
Joe usually does all this. Do I have to dump some in there?
Oh, yeah, you definitely do.
That's a lot of questions.
I know.
I was wondering if we were going to have a full slate of new questions because Joe's not here.
It looks like we do.
Yeah.
So,
Who's taking care of that? Like, was there a ghost here that...
Maybe.
is there a special producer for this
Maybe there
podcast?
is.
Maybe there is now.
Excellent. Well, don't forget, get your questions in, brownbag@WNEP.com. Remember, this segment is only as good as you make it.
What does Joe say on that one commercial? If this stinks,
It's
'cause
your
of
fault.
You. Or it's your fault. Yeah.
Yes. So who's going to go first?
Anthony.
I think Anthony.
All right, Anthony, you go first.
Okay.
So-
I kind of want to get the stuff off the top first.
Okay.
All right, that's fine.
You do
'Cause
you.
then this one, these are if you're listening, not really crumpled up that much.
No,
Yeah,
that's
they're
true.
not. But we still don't know what they
Is
say.
the bell handy just in case? Oh, yeah, there
Yeah,
it
the
is. Okay.
bell's right there.
This one is from. Can you? Oh, I know you need glasses.
No, I brought my glasses
No.
today.
The name itself
Is Twyla Burkholder.
Twyla.
Oh.
Twyla's,
Yes.
she's had some before, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She's a frequent flyer.
Yeah.
To everyone, what's a weird or different food you eat that no one else in the family will?
Interesting.
Do you have the answer, Anthony? It's your question.
Yeah.
Nothing specifically. I know some people don't like pickles per se, but that's not all too weird. I'm trying to think of something very obscure. One thing growing up, when my dad would cook steak, like the fat of the steak. I know it's
Oh,
not
the
best
gristle.
food. That part of the steak was like my favorite.
You love the fat?
The fat of the steak, yeah.
It is tasty, but it is pretty gross.
Not
But some
me.
people love it. Yeah.
What do you got, Nikki?
I like to joke with my boyfriend that I have the palate of a 5-year-old. So I love chicken fingers and fries. So I don't think that this question is for me.
Okay.
I'm pretty basic when it comes to food.
Maybe there's a flavor of something that you like mint chocolate chip. Or
Well, mint chocolate chip's not weird, I don't think.
What?
Some people hate it, though.
I love it.
See, I
pistachio.
like it. My husband doesn't like it.
I love mint chocolate
Me
chip.
too.
Yeah.
So the one food that I really like that no one in my house will eat is venison.
Oh.
So I grew up in a hunting family, hunting culture in small town Pennsylvania. Venison was just a part of our life. Like my mom made venison quite a bit.
Now for is that deer?
Deer meat, yeah. So
For a non-hunting guy.
Yes.
So I love venison. I love the way my mom would prepare it and everything, but no one else in my house will try it.
Oh.
So venison chili, all those kind of things. So that's definitely one for
I
me.
tried venison for the first time about a year or two ago, and I actually liked it.
You did like
yeah.
it? Yeah.
It depends on how it's prepared.
It has to be made right.
And I don't like it if it tastes gamey. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
sometimes it'll taste gamey and I'm just like, ugh, can't stand it. But in chili and stuff, like it masks any gameness pretty
Yes.
well. And
I find that with a lot of wild animals that, you get hunting, it has to be cooked the right way so you don't get that wild gamey taste. Wild turkey tastes very different from a butterball.
yeah.
But it's good. It's really good. But I don't think my
It's just
family would eat
different.
that either.
Probably not.
No.
I did try, so when I lived in Maine, moose is a big thing that people
Oh,
hunt
yeah.
for.
Oh.
Yeah, so, and the thing is, it's not easy to get a moose license. They're only about 4,000 a year that they give out to people, so it's like a lottery. So people, when they get their moose license, are very excited because they get a chance to go out and get a moose.
I didn't realize it was so exclusive.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I know my husband at the time worked at the airport, and he would have coworkers bring in moose chili or whatever if they were able to catch a moose, and a lot of times it would feed a family for a whole year.
Oh yeah, a moose would
is a
be
lot of meat.
I
Yeah.
bet.
So I mean, I did enjoy the moose chili. Actually, I tried that, and that was good. But in general, I'm not huge on the gamey stuff. It's hard for me.
Well, it's interesting because she brought up the moose hunt. I don't know if you all know, but Pennsylvania has an elk hunt.
Oh, yes.
And it's even more exclusive
Really?
than the moose hunt. There's a lottery system for the elk hunt, and I think there's about 60 licenses
That's
it?
for the elk hunt in Pennsylvania. And 10,000 plus people apply for it.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's
What?
crazy.
Yes.
Are they all in
So-
Elk County?
No, actually, it was slightly controversial, and I don't know if they've resolved it. But I grew up in Elk County. That's the actual name of the county, and it's because there are wild elk in Elk County. But the people of Elk County got a little mad because there'd be this lottery system, and so many years no one from Elk County got a license.
Oh.
And they're like, wait a second, these animals are in our county and are wild here. Shouldn't there be someone that gets it? And I think there was talk of allotting like 2 of the licenses so that it would at least be for Elk County
Right,
people.
they should.
Yeah. Elk meat also very good.
So you've tried it.
And elk jerky is delicious.
Oh,
Deer
I bet.
jerky, have you had that?
I don't think I have.
Do you like jerky?
Yeah.
Venison
like
jerky is
jerky.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will try it.
All right.
So I'm also a little weird because I pretty much will try anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'll eat it a lot, but one of the things that my husband and I did on our wedding day, we ate cow brains.
Ooh.
Yep.
Is that like a ritual, like a family tradition?
It's not a ritual or a family tradition. We were just in another country. We were in Indonesia, and that was something they ate there. And so my friend who was with us said, "Oh, try this," but didn't tell us what it was.
Oh.
And it pretty much tasted like brains, just so you know.
Oh,
In
okay.
case you're wondering. Now, so that was like, 30 years ago. I look back and I'm like, is that dangerous? Like with all the diseases and stuff? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like different cow diseases? Oh, anyway.
Indeed.
So I did try cow brains.
Have you had cow
You
tongue?
had the-
I have had cow tongue, yes. Beef tongue?
My
yeah.
aunt one time made beef tongue, a cow
Yeah.
tongue, and it like had the bumps on it and everything.
Oh,
gosh,
see, so I had it
no.
actually
That's not
at,
what it is.
I had it at one of those Korean barbecue places where they slice it thinly,
Oh,
and it
okay.
was actually good. And
She had
if
it
there
on
were
a plate,
bumps, I
and they
wouldn't
cut
eat it.
like
yeah.
pieces of. Once I found out what it was, it looked like it.
Gross. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
That's-
Nikki,
that
it's
set
your
us
turn.
down
That doesn't
quite
sound good to me.
quite a
That was
trail.
quite the rabbit hole there.
It's hard to reach in.
Here,
It
I'll hold
is.
the box.
Oh, thanks.
Oh yeah, because these are
I
all
know,
gonna come
because there's so
fall.
many questions. I should have been like you and take one off the top.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Hello, Channel 16 team. I watch your news every morning for many years. I love to start my day with it. My question is, how do you all avoid colds and the flu? You never seem to miss a day of work. Would love to know your secret. D from Exeter.
D, we just come in really sick and try
We
to
do.
mask it.
Oh, really?
I honestly think a lot of us just kind of push through.
We do.
Yeah, it's really hard to.
You were sick just last week, right?
I had, that was like a neck thing. My
Oh,
neck
okay.
was really sore, but still,
But weren't you congested just recently, I thought?
I was congested
Yes,
recently.
'cause I remember- yeah.
I think it was more allergies because it went away really fast.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's really hard to voice a story, to sit on the anchor desk and read for you guys when you're losing your voice or
Mm-hmm.
when you are congested.
I joke, and Mindy and I joke all the
Mm-hmm.
time, the biggest enemy of a news anchor is just the common cold.
Yes.
And it sounds funny, but when we have a cold, of course we're going to come to work. You're not going to call in sick because you have a cold. But sometimes just talking for hours when you're a little bit congested is so hard. And we stumble over our words, and
Yeah,
it's just...
sometimes then your energy is down
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yes, and
You're
you're trying
zapped.
so hard to be energetic because you're
it's
still
so
delivering the news on
difficult.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a throat coat tea, a sore throat tea that actually really helps your throat. I have cough drops. I have this all in my arsenal in my desk just in case, because I know like if I come in sick, I have to be able to deal with it.
And I think on this
out.
shift, we just, if you woke up sick, you're only a couple hours from the show, you feel bad about calling in sick last minute.
Right.
So I think for us, we got to be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Well,
to do it.
and like you said, for me too, they can't just call in another reporter at 2:00 in the morning.
right.
Yeah.
No one's awake.
I always think that, and Joe never calls in sick.
Yeah.
But I always do think of that, and like for example, say you woke up this morning and we're just really sick, Anthony.
Okay.
If he calls in sick this morning,
What do we do?
what do we do?
Well, that makes you
Because
feel bad,
that's
you know?
right before the newscast, trying to come up with a backup meteorologist. I think maybe that would be my moment.
Right?
The wannabe meteorologist.
You've always wanted that
I
moment.
get to step in and
It might be
my
your
morning.
moment, Jon.
Yes.
Your time to shine.
Yeah, I haven't been sick since I've been here, but I've been sick before. And it's funny because when you're doing weather, you're speaking for 3-4 minutes at a time. So one time in one of my old stations, I muted my mic. I gave a little cough. I unmuted it, and I kept on speaking. And then there have been a couple times, especially during a tornado coverage, where you're talking for a long period of time. You still may be under the weather a little bit, for lack of a better phrase to use. And I've had it before. Somebody like rushed me water because it's like I got.
Yeah, I've had people rush me water too on the air. Yeah.
So, and as far as not getting, for me, I feel like it's a luck of the draw because I live by myself, so I'm not really exposed to too many germs. But as far as not
John's
getting
exposed to
sick,
germs all the time because he's got 3 kids.
I have kids,
Yeah,
so
so-
it's constant, germs coming and
Yeah.
going in our house. But
But yeah, you definitely come in sick. I mean, I guess they say you're not supposed to come to work
Yeah.
sick, but we all do it
We do
because
it.
we just have to.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that would change with COVID, but it didn't.
No,
No.
we still do it.
Yeah.
We come to work.
We come to work.
Yep.
Yep, it's important.
There are
All
much
right.
harder jobs out there than
Yeah.
what
There
we
are.
And we don't want to let
We're
our
not
coworkers
whining.
down,
Exactly.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Got it.
Oh, this is from Chris in 44. It's not really a question. Right after the podcast, January 30th, I recognized Jon in public later that day.
Oh, my.
He does look the same in person.
Oh,
From
that's
Chris
so
in 44.
funny. Oh my gosh.
That's kind of funny.
So I'm surprised. So Chris is kind of the new Travis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why didn't he come over and say hi to you?
Yeah, I don't think he said anything to me because I don't remember meeting him.
Yeah.
January 30th, huh?
That was after that snowstorm.
Okay.
Oh, that was a week after the snowstorm.
But he'd have to introduce himself as Chris
As
from
Chris
44.
from 44.
Right, because then you would know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe he did, and I was really tired and I'm not remembering. And if that's the case, Chris, I'm really sorry. But I think we probably talked about on the podcast how some people
Right.
see us in public and then they say to us, "Wow, you look the best is you look normal in person."
Oh.
Do you ever get
What does
that?
that mean?
I don't get that.
I get that sometimes. Wow, you look normal in person.
I look bigger in person.
Oh, funny.
Well, I get that all the time. You're
Yeah.
so much taller in person.
I
They
always
say you
get-
look bigger in person.
You look
really?
prettier in
Yeah.
person.
I
And
get
then how do you
that
take
too.
that one?
Oh, makes me feel very good.
I was-
it's fine.
I
it's
was
fine.
getting on an elevator just yesterday, and I overheard some women talking about me, like, "Oh, she's much prettier in person," and I'm like, "How do you even take that?"
Well, I mean, I think that
I think they mean well.
They mean well. Yeah.
But
And honestly, I kind of know what they mean because sometimes I've thought that too when I've met people in
Yeah.
person and I'm like, oh, I feel like they are, sometimes the camera, can distort your whatever. So
it does.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is just seeing an actual person.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just the flat image of us on a screen.
Right, because then we're more real. Yeah,
That
definitely.
Nikki brings up a great point that the toughest thing for us, and we don't want to sound like we're a big deal to people who recognize us in public. It's just part of the job.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate it. But the funniest thing is when there's people talking about you.
Yeah, and
And you can hear them, and you don't know what to do.
No, it's like, what
do I
do?
acknowledge
say
that they're there and be
something?
like, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
Or is that me eavesdropping on their conversation?
sometimes people just give me a weird look when they're by themselves, and they give me a weird look. I'm like, I don't want to say that. Sometimes just give a little hi. If
Yeah.
they want to say anything, like,
Yeah.
how's it going, they'll do it. But I can kind of tell.
But I'll hear so many times, "Oh, that he's so much taller in person."
And they think they're being quiet.
They're
You can
not.
totally hear them. I
I've
know.
learned that people aren't very quiet whisperers.
Yes.
No,
True.
they're not.
Or maybe your hearing is better than they
Maybe
realize.
that's it.
Well, this one is kind of nice. Should I read the compliment? It starts out with a compliment, and I know we're not supposed to do compliments.
Joe's
Well, Joe's
not
not here.
here.
Do it.
All right, cool. This is from Jessica Miller. She says, "You've become my favorite podcast every week
Whoa.
for years.
Okay.
For years. Although I know you hate compliments, you guys deserve them."
Well, she even knows the rules.
Right.
Yeah, wow.
She transplanted to North Georgia in 2018 after being born and raised in Effort for 40 years. So now she's
Okay.
living far away. Joe's forecasts were the highlight of our mornings when we were getting our kids ready to go to school. Your podcast gives a little piece of home and reminds me why I love where I'm from. Isn't that sweet?
That is so nice.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so here's the question.
Okay, so there is a question.
Yeah,
There
I
is
was
a
about to
question.
say.
That was just the compliment
How
part.
great are we?
There are 2 paragraphs here. All right. So her question is about rainbows. I feel like every rainbow I've seen since we moved south is a double rainbow. I don't remember seeing as many double rainbows in Pennsylvania. Am I crazy, or is there something to this? Thanks. You guys are the best.
I think we've got the perfect person here, someone who's been a meteorologist
yes,
in the South.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that coincidence. Obviously, you get stronger updrafts for storms, so the storms are a little bit stronger in Georgia. Double rainbows happen when there's just more. I believe, I'm not a rainbow expert. When there's just more particles, like water droplets in the air, so it may just be a coincidence with.
I've seen a lot of double rainbows here.
I have too.
I have too.
Yeah, so maybe she just didn't see the same ones that we were
And
seeing.
just is noticing. I mean, there could be more water droplets in the South just because there's more humidity. I guess
Yeah.
that's probably
Yeah, that
something
could be
that
true.
could have it. But I have seen pretty many double rainbows.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, the first day I was here, actually, I was by Viewmont Mall. My dad and I were having lunch. The first day I was here, my dad and I were like looking for apartments, and we saw a double rainbow the first day.
It was a sign you were in the right spot.
See?
Yeah.
It was.
Wow. Well, thank you, Jessica, for the nice compliment and the nice question.
It's
Anthony,
it's almost
up to
rainbow
you.
season now,
and a
too.
fun
Yeah.
double rainbow fact. Did you guys know, like, obviously the red is on the bottom of the rainbow, works up. With double rainbow, it's the opposite.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that
You
either.
ever notice that? Take a look at the double rainbow the next time. The colors are inverted.
Whoa. That's cool.
That is
That is cool.
So I did touch this one before. I just crumpled it back up. I don't want to use this one.
Oh, okay.
Because people think that I looked at it and pre-read it. But
Oh, no, we know.
no.
We know you didn't. That's not part of the game here.
Nope.
we got Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Subject is Nikki in the field.
Ooh. This could be good.
Here we
This
go.
could be good.
Oh.
Okay. Oh yeah, well this is a fairly easy question, and I know the answer to it, I think.
Oh,
Good
okay.
morning, crew. Does Nikki have to go to the station before she goes to her assignments, or can she leave from her house and go to wherever she's reporting? Also, does the business pay for her to be there, like where you go? Dutch from 40 Fork.
Dutch.
Oh,
That's a good name.
that's your dog's
But
name.
it said it's from Bill, so maybe his nickname is Dutch?
Oh, it could be
Could
his
be.
nickname.
Yeah.
Oh, my dog's name is Dutch.
Yeah. That's what Dutch from 44, and I'm like, it's kind of cool.
Those are good questions.
Yeah.
Those are good questions. So it really just depends on the day. Most days I do start from the station. I meet up with Tim, the photographer, and our day starts around 3 o'clock in the morning, and we meet up, do my hair and makeup, and then we drive to our destination. But there have been some days lately when the shoots have been very close to where I live, and in that case, he will either pick me up or meet me at the destination. They do not pay us to be there.
No.
No.
That's an important
Yeah.
thing to
That
point
is
out.
very important. Everything we do is, it's news.
It's news. It's journalism.
It's
Yes.
journalism. We don't get paid to be there.
Yeah.
I just get paid by WNEP.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll, like, when you did Raise the Region, you spent the night
Yeah.
because it was far away. It's, an hour and a half away. So then the station did pay for you to spend the night there.
We had asked to be put up in a hotel room just this week. It'll be last week by the time you hear this on the
Yes.
podcast. But when we were in Montoursville for Raise the Region, that's about an hour and 40 minutes drive from the station. So we would have had to leave at 2:30 in the morning,
Yeah, crazy.
which would have been very crazy. So then I would have had to get to the station around 2. Oh. Yeah, so we stayed in a hotel the night before. Sometimes we do things like that. If when we went to the farm show in Harrisburg, we stayed in a hotel.
Yeah.
So, but for the most part, I would say 90% of the time we'll meet at the station.
Yeah.
What
Good
was
answers.
because I'm asking questions now. What's like the longest you've ever driven to a place in just the morning and actually going there? What's like? Is there a distance where I get to like an hour and a half, 2 hours?
I think it was Raise the Region last year, about an hour and 40 minutes. I can't think of a farther location that we've gone to for the morning show. But that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a long ways.
It's a
in the morning.
long ways
it's a long
that
day, and
early.
then driving
and then
back.
driving back.
Yeah, and you're so exhausted. I mean,
Yeah.
usually Tim, the photographer, drives, but like I'm sure he's got to be tired too.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, he gets up at the same time we do.
yeah.
So
It's hard to drive that far.
it is.
All right, Nikki, it's your turn.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I feel like that was my question.
That
I
was
know.
Anthony's
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
One time I drove 2.5 hours.
Really?
For a story?
For a story, yeah.
Well,
it was the National Weather Service. They were showing the Hurricane Hunter planes. I drove from South Georgia all the way to the coast, Tallahassee, and we did a story. And then I drove the way back, and I still had to edit.
Wow.
But I
man.
spent like all day.
And that, we're talking about Nikki, staying over for the morning show. That does happen here, where we have reporters that aren't staying over, that are working a more normal shift.
Yeah, in the
Days
morning
like-
it's
where
rough.
you're going almost 2 hours for stories.
Yeah.
Well, when I worked in central Pennsylvania, we were in the car all day because we covered 5 counties, sometimes 7, sometimes we'd go to State College, sometimes we'd go to Bradford County. So we were just in the car from 9:30 in the morning until sometimes 6 o'clock at night.
And I've certainly gone on the Pennsylvania Road from here
Yeah.
and left and driven 2 hours away. We do the story and then drive 2 hours back because our
Yeah.
viewing area stretches. If you think from here to Renova, which is about the far
Oh,
western
that was a long drive.
rim of our area, that's 2+ hours,
Yeah, it's-
almost 3,
Yeah.
to get to our viewing area. So it's an expansive area that we cover. But that's why we have the Central Pennsylvania Newsroom crews.
Right.
Of course.
Because they get to cover the areas that are so far to
And
the
it's
west.
more expansive than most television markets.
Yes.
I mean, I've worked in other television markets that you just don't, travel that far. But yeah.
All right, Nikki, what do you got?
This is a fun one. It's from Rhonda in Montoursville. We were just talking about Montoursville.
Funny.
She says, if money wasn't a factor, where is the place you would most want to travel? That's an easy one for me because I want to go to Greece
Oh.
badly.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of places I want to go, but Greece tops the list.
Do you
That's a
know
good
where
one.
Rennie and I went on our honeymoon?
You went to Greece?
We went to Greece.
Stop it!
We did.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Did you go to any of the islands?
We
or?
went to the islands.
Santorini,
We went to,
or-
yes, and it is. It's worth it.
It's
It's
worth
worth it.
It is
Okay.
worth it.
Yeah, I really
Now,
want to go there
a little
too.
story about that. So we were looking at places to go for our honeymoon, and a lot of people go to Hawaii or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we looked into going to Hawaii, and then we talked about, well, what about Greece? Because we both wanted to go there too. It was cheaper to go to Greece than was to go to Hawaii. Hawaii
yeah.
at that time.
Wow.
So we did it.
That makes perfect sense because Hawaii is very expensive.
It's very expensive, and the reality of that time, and it's a little bit sad, but it was a downturn in Greece's economy. So the U.S. dollar in Greece went a really long way. So we had an amazing trip that was not crazy, and it's beautiful.
So go
So
to
do
a
it.
place. Go to a place that's going through an economic depression.
Yeah.
I hate to say it that way, but it
Well, and then you're helping them.
and you're
'cause
helping
the
their
tourism
economy by
dollars
tourism
benefit
dollars.
them.
So it was beautiful.
Well, what's your answer to the question?
If money wasn't an object, I think I'd love to go probably like to the islands in the Pacific or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You need to go to Bali, Indonesia.
Yes.
So beautiful.
It'd be cool.
Oh.
My brother's a pilot, so he's gone to all these places.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
He's taking
yes.
vacations. He's like in Tahiti. He's going to all these places.
Ah.
He's well traveled. For me,
Fiji.
I'm Italian. I did a study abroad in Italy for 2 months after my freshman year of college. So I lived in Italy for 2.5 months. But I do have family in Italy, and because they live in such a remote place in southern Italy, I was unable to see them, and I've never met them in my life before.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
So just to get there, because now my grandma's getting advanced in age, so that would be nice.
Oh, that would be great
That
to
would
go
be
see them.
awesome.
You
So
know,
your
you need
grandma
to do that.
lives in Italy and you haven't met her?
Never met her.
So one of your parents is direct from Italy?
Yeah, my mom was. She was born there, and she moved here when she was 2 or 3.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Okay.
So,
What
yeah.
part of Italy?
South, like Calabria, if you're familiar, like the toe of the boot.
The toe
boots?
of the boot. Okay, so
Yeah.
way down there.
Way down
Okay.
there.
Yeah, so it's very remote. Like my mom got to meet her mom and my dad. There was like a whole huge thing, but it's just so not in the right path. Not like a direct. There's no big high-speed train that goes directly to there.
Right, it's
So
tough to get there.
That would probably be.
Oh,
That is
Anthony's
so
is so
cool.
meaningful.
Yes,
is.
that's so sweet.
I just wanted to
love
go
it.
on some trip, but Anthony wants to go meet his
visit
grandma.
Yeah.
So,
I want to go to the moon.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, I
too.
definitely want to do
What
that
about
too.
Mindi?
Oh gosh, Mindy can't pick. Mindy doesn't know one place. There's just too many places.
Yeah.
I want to go everywhere. I agree with you. Greece. I want to go to
Yes.
Greece so badly. I haven't been there. My husband has been there, but I've never been there. In fact, my whole family's been there except for
Yeah,
me.
Darren's been there and I haven't been there.
Yeah. So yeah, we need to go. And I want to go to the Galapagos Islands. I want to go to
Yes.
Australia. I want to go to see more of. I've never been to Africa. Never been there. I'd like to go to Egypt. So
African safari.
yes.
Really?
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
want to do an
I
African
would.
safari so badly. That is like one of the top things on my list.
Yeah, that's not on my list.
I'd be
Really?
scared.
No.
Oh, I do.
with
I
the
want to
big
do it so
mosquitoes
bad.
the size
oh,
of
I don't
SUVs
care. I'll
and,
just wear some DEET. I'll be fine.
That was a good question.
It was
was a
good
great
question.
question.
We
Yeah.
are running. slightly
yeah,
out
this
of
Yeah,
might-
I think we've
this
only
might
got
be
1
it.
minute or so. This
All
could
right.
be the last one. Let's make it a good one, John.
When people walk their dogs, do you think it's right that they let their dogs on other people's property? This is from Mark in Dunmore.
Oh, interesting.
Good
Well,
question for
Yeah,
you.
we just got a dog.
Yes.
We'll find out.
I think when you're walking your dog, I mean, you're on the end of the road and they're going to end up in people's yards. I think as
Yeah.
long as you clean up after them.
And isn't there that what is it called? Sort of a section that's like kind
The
of
right of way that
the right of way
the
or whatever.
community has the right of way along the roads and sidewalks too.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you don't want to let your dog obviously like go up to somebody's front porch or whatever. But I think as you're walking them, they might step on the grass.
And you have to clean
I
up
do
after
have
your
one
dog.
neighbor who will yell at you if your dog steps on their grass.
Oh.
Don't
But
ask me how I know that, but
I don't know. I think it's just kind of a given.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's it for this edition of Mr. Curiosity.
Good question.
Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Keep the questions coming. How do they send us questions again?
Oh, brown bag at WNEP.com. Just do it.
We'll see you later.